Today we're going to walk you through how to do dog intros with a reactive dog. We have Devin and Holly here today, two of our awesome trainers, and we also have Atlas and Dusty. So Dusty doesn't have any aggression issues, but Atlas has been doing some training with us for dog reactivity, so we are going to show you exactly how we work on that. Now, the first thing we generally do is walk the dogs together, and this is for a couple of reasons. You guys want to go ahead and start healing them? And I'll explain why. So most dog fights happen for one of two reasons. One is resources, dogs guarding food, bones, toys. That's not, going to happen out here because there's very few resources. The second is excitement. So when you try to do an intro and the dogs don't know each other and they haven't had a few minutes to be around each other, you have a lot of excitement and then you have a much higher chance of a fight. So we love doing this little walking. When you do this, you can't overdo it. So if you've got 30 minutes, great, go for a half-hour walk together. The more you do, the better. I came to Phoenix to shoot this video. It's a perfect winter day. It's like 70 degrees. So if it's not hot and you can spend a lot of time, this is awesome. So they did well. Did you guys see any issues?
No, nothing.
All right. I wanted to cover two things real quick. First, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. I look weird with those sunglasses on, right? There's no denying it. I feel like I look like a kid trying to be the guy from X-Men, the guy who shoots lasers out of his eyes or something. I don't know. Number two, let's talk about Atlas. So you notice Atlas is walking really well, right? So Atlas is with us for reactivity, but he's made a ton of progress. So he's at that point where he no longer barks, lunges, or growls when he passes a new dog, but you still can't let a dog like that just say hi to a new dog instantly. If you have a reactive dog, you know what I mean. He's at that in-between point where he's not perfect with all new dogs, but he's no longer acting out. If your dog is still lunging, barking, and growling, you're not ready for this step. You have to fix that stuff first, and then this is how you do dog intros and before you fully trust them. All right, let's get back to it. So they did a quick walk, but remember this was short because the dogs are doing well. If your dog is pulling, if your dog isn't listening well, you could walk for 30 or 40 minutes to tire them out and get them under control. Since this is going well, we're going to move to step two. Step number two is to actually let the dogs do some smelling of each other. When you do this, there's a lot of ways you can go about it, but we believe in safety first. So we could let the dogs just go nose to nose. There's a chance that would work out fine, but to me, it's always too big of a risk. So I'm going to show you how we work on this. I'm going to take the camera off its tripod here so I can get you a better view. Now, as we do this, we are going to work on having the dogs under control. And do you guys want to start healing for a moment, and I'll just follow you? So what they're going to do is they're going to walk side by side for a moment. When we start doing these, and so there you can see there's some curiosity, that's fine. But when we start doing the actual smelling, we're gonna have one dog go up behind the other one. Do you guys have a preference on who goes first? Okay, so Devin, you wanna turn towards me? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna allow Dusty to walk up. And we do this for a few reasons, and I can walk you through them. One is if the dog in front decided he was going to attack, it's much easier to keep the other dog safe when they're healing. He has to really spin around quite a bit to be able to attack the other dog in this scenario. And it's also a lot less nerve-wracking. And go ahead and turn whenever you guys are ready. It's a lot less nerve-wracking for the dog. And what I mean by that is face-to-face is hard, right? They're looking in each other's eyes and they're stuck. They're kind of standing there and they're not allowed to move. When they're healing, it's a lot easier. So this is a lot less stressful, for the dog in front, to be smelled rather than when he's just standing there. So now he's gotten some smell, so we want to go ahead and switch. All right, I wanted to cut away again to talk about something really important. So a lot of trainers will tell you, and you'll see this on YouTube videos and books and stuff, that tension on the leash or leash pressure is a bad thing, right? And it's going to lead to reactivity. And that is sort of true. So a lot of dogs are reactive on leash, and it starts from the leash is always tense, they're always pulling, they pass a dog, they get frustrated, and now they lunge and attack and become more reactive through time. But that doesn't mean leash pressure or tension is a bad thing. You have to know how to use it, and your dog has to understand what it means, and more importantly, how to turn it off. So let me give you an example why it's important, because you might be wondering that right now. Imagine if your dog is smelling another dog, and you have a reactive dog who's now doing well, and that other dog does something you don't like. Maybe their tail goes up, or they kind of posture a little bit, or you see, them showing their teeth, something you don't like, and you want to get your dog out of there. You don't have time to say come or get. There's no time for any of that. You have, a split second, right? So if you were to just pull your leash back, there's a very good chance that's going to set your dog off, right? And now you have a fight. But if your dog has learned what leash pressure means and they know how to turn it off and they know when you pull back a little bit, all they have to do is back up and the pressure goes away, you have a much more stable, predictable dog. They don't learn that on their own. You have to practice that. So you'll see we do that a few times in this video. We let the dog say hi and we put a little leash pressure on to get them out of there. If you have a reactive dog who cannot be pulled away with a little leash pressure, you have a loose cannon and you're going to have fights. You need to make sure no matter what you do, when your dog feels you pulling them from the situation, they say, okay, and they turn and come with you. If you don't have that, you're going to have problems. So now, with Dusty in front, the reactive dog behind, it is really rare for a reactive dog here to decide to attack another dog from behind. I mean, it happens, but it's pretty uncommon. And we only see that with very aggressive dogs, like, a dog who's planning on attacking the whole time. Usually what you're going to see here, if you have a problem, is you might see right there the dog in front turned around. That can lead to an issue. It doesn't always lead to an issue, but then they went face to face for a moment. So I would like to see some smelling where the dog from behind, he gets to smell the front one. So there we had a couple smells. And so you can see the guy in front, Dusty, turned around, he wanted to see, but we kept him moving. And like I mentioned, we could do this fully off leash and kind of hope for the best. But to me, that's always a bigger risk. So this is step 2, and it is went really well. You guys want to turn back this way? All right, are you guys comfortable letting them say hi now? Yeah. So now we're gonna stop and let them actually get to interact a little bit. All right, well, we are ready to do some smelling. You guys want to go ahead and let them say hi to each other? So what we're looking for here is we're watching the dog's body language, and I look for loose body language rather than tight. Now, Dusty's tail doesn't tell us much. You probably noticed that it's up, but that's its natural position. So if I saw his tail was down and then the other dog came and it went straight up, I'd be very worried, but that's just how he naturally carries it. I see that he's not super focused. He's interested in the other dog, but he's interested in other stuff as well. So everything right now is great. Now, this stuff can change in an instant. Anytime you're doing training like this, if one dog suddenly jumps at the other or something changes, you could have a problem. But right now I'm liking everything that I see. So there we just had a little bit of action. Dusty kind of moved over and was thinking about getting into play mode, and that could set off a dog like Atlas, but we certainly didn't see anything there. So now once this goes well and we feel good, that's when we'd move to actually letting them start to play. And that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna let them go in just a moment here. So you might notice that Atlas has a remote collar on. He's in training and we use that for safety. Dusty does not have one. He's past that point in his training and can be trusted without it. But go ahead and let him go when you guys are ready. And we're gonna give the dogs a chance to say hi and play. And we don't force the play. So if they want to, that is awesome, but we're not gonna force that. So if they want to smell and pee on stuff, all of that's pretty normal dog behavior. And when I say we won't force the play, we'll encourage it, but we're not going to like shove them into each other. So we'll, encourage them to play, kind of call them both to us, get them in the same spot so they hopefully start to play, but we want it to be their decision, not ours. So happy body language there, which is great. And so one thing you can do if you're not an expert at dog body language is watch a dog, and you could watch Atlas, and just you get a read of what he's normally like. So we see what he's normally like when people are talking to him. We see his mouth is open, pretty loose body language, and we want to see when Dusty comes up, does that suddenly change? All of a sudden, is he like really tight? Does he shut his mouth? Does he stare? Atlas! And so what I'm looking for here is just good, soft, kind of loose body language. And what I really want to see is that when the two dogs get near, that Atlas's body language doesn't change. That he doesn't get tense or shut his mouth or get really tight right when Dusty comes over. So he was leaving right there and his trainer called him back. You can see he listened well. And I would love for them to do a lot of wrestling right now, but there's so much at the park, so many other things that they're intrigued by. And that's okay, and that's what I meant earlier about not forcing this. We're not going to tell Atlas he has to wrestle. All we expect him to do is be under control and not be aggressive. And I like all of Atlas's body language. And he seems happy-go-lucky. He doesn't seem unhappy when Dusty gets near him. But we can also see he seems to like the human attention a little bit more than the dog right now, and that's certainly a-okay. So there we see him pee. They're both smelling the same area. If, constant marking is something we would stop. A little bit of marking is not a problem, but if we see it constantly, that would certainly be an issue. But if they're just smelling every once in a while, not a big deal at all. So I think we've seen everything we need to for today. If you work on this with your dogs and you have questions, reach out. We'd love to help you. And hopefully this behind the scenes look is helpful and you can see what we do on a daily basis. Thanks for watching.